Picture?
We used to have it now. Okay. I'd like to call the meeting of the Spontaneous City Board of Education to order, please. I know. All right, let's all stand.
United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Gilmore? Here. Mrs. Lloyd? Here. Mrs. Hollis?
Here.
Mrs. Piper?
Here. Motion to accept the agenda.
So moved.
I'll second.
Madison.
All right. Reception of the, call the roll.
Mr. Gilmore? Aye. Mrs. Lloyd?
Aye.
Mrs. Hollis?
Aye.
Mrs. Piper?
Aye.
Mr. Fetters?
Aye.
Reception of the public. Mark Lord, thanks, Scott.
CA does not have a presentation tonight.
Mrs. Henderson? Anybody else from policy? Mr. Luke, please.
Good evening. Thank you all for coming. Thank you guys for giving me the opportunity to talk about our ELL program. So I'm just going to talk a little bit about what our program is and kind of how we identify students and how we work with those students. And I've given the board members a handout and I have extras. I'll leave up here if somebody else wants to pick one up. I don't have enough for everybody, but I do have a few extras. As most of you probably know, we have a pretty significant population of English language learners here in Salina. These are non-native English-speaking students. And while this is not new for our district or our area, it certainly is something that has grown significantly in the last couple of years. 2 years ago, we started with 45 students that were identified as English language learners. This year, we started with 64. So certainly over the last couple of years, we've grown. And if you've been in this district for long enough, you know we've grown significantly in the last 5 to 7 years. This is a high number we know and we realize for our district, but we are almost right on point with state average. So state average is about 2.7% of your population. We are 2.5%. So we're right on average with state numbers. Overall, we have 13 languages spoken in Salina, either by our students or by their parents. Those languages range from English, obviously, to Cambodian, Uzbek, and the one that's the most common other than English, which is Marshallese. We identify our English language learners through a process that's kind of outlined by the state. Every parent, when they come to enroll their children for the first time, fill out a home language survey. They answer a series of questions about their native language, what languages are spoken at home by parents and other people living in the home. And if any language other than English appears on that survey, then we give them an English language assessment screener. The one that we use here in Salina is known as the Woodcock-Munoz language survey. If you've heard of the Woodcock-Johnson, it's from the same family of assessment, so it's very similar to that. Based on the results of that assessment, then we make a determination if the student is an English language learner or not. Okay, so basically we're looking for students that haven't attained enough proficiency in the language. We identify them as language learners, and then we notify the parents and offer them services tiered to their level of need and their grade level. These services range anywhere from, for our 5 through 12 students, we offer, for the ones in most need of language instruction, we offer a full-out language instruction course for part of the day. For a lot of our students, K through 12 and primarily K through 4, we offer some inclusive support in the classroom with tutors and aides. And then we also, just recently this year, have purchased a program known as Reading Horizons for some of our special ed students and also for some of our ELL students. That is a reading program that is known to raise students' reading level if used with fidelity up to 2 grade levels per year. So that is something that we're using with a lot of our students. And then even more recently this year, we were able to purchase, with some federal funds that are targeted for the ELO program, some iPads. So we have a set of 10 iPads that we use specifically for some of our language learning students. And one app in particular on those has been very helpful for some of our students, and that is Google Translate. And if you have an iPad or an iPhone, I recommend that you try this app because it is really cool. If you ever travel to another country or need to speak to somebody in another language, it'll do anything from turn on the microphone, speak into it, and it'll translate for you into lots of different languages, not including Marshallese, unfortunately. So it'll translate spoken word, it'll translate, you can write right on the screen with your finger, and it'll translate words and text, and you can also hold it over a document, and it uses the camera, and will do a live translation of the document. So this is something for some of our students. We have a few Spanish-speaking students that it's been very helpful for, and we hope will really impact and make a difference. And then each spring, the state gives us a test to administer to our language learning students, in addition to the other assessments they have to take from the state. But this test specifically measures their proficiency in English, and based on those results, some of the students are transitioned out. I think last year we had 4 or 5 that were transitioned out of the program. So it's usually not a significant number, but we are looking eventually to transition, hopefully, all of the students out of the program. That's the goal. Obviously, as we continue to grow in numbers, and if we continue to grow in numbers, we're going to be looking and exploring for different options in programming and service needs. Currently, we have a relatively small staff. I think at least one of them is here tonight. So a lot of you know Angela Brown. If you want to at least stand up and maybe wave. Angela is the teacher that we hired. This is her second year here. And she's done a phenomenal job and has brought a lot of change to our program, and certainly brings a lot of expertise to what we do. And, you know, not to mention the least of which maybe Reading Horizons was her idea and something that she brought to us. So we certainly appreciate what she does. We also have 2 tutors that work for us, and that is Jill Harris and Katie Simchek. I don't think either one of them are here. I don't think I saw them. And then we also have currently an aide that's working with a couple of our students. So in the future, we've explored and we've talked about offering continued professional development for our staff that work directly with those students, but also our entire teaching staff. Summer enrichment activities for the students. Translation of school documents is something that we're working on now for the non-English speaking parents, so translating invitations to school events, parent notification of our ELL identification, those sorts of things, working on translating them into some of those other languages. And also, obviously, if we continue to grow, there's the potential for the need for staffing increases. I'm going to move on and talk about professional development, unless any of you guys have questions about our ELL program.
How often does a student come that speaks no English?
So it just kind of depends. We've had at least 2 that I can think of this year that are at a very basic level. A lot of times they come in, a lot of our Marshall E students come from other places in the United States. So some come from like Arkansas, some will come from Washington. So this is not their first exposure to English, but they certainly have not, don't have a full grasp of the language yet. But we get, 1 or 2 on average probably a year that come in with little to no English.
Do they have to start almost like 1-on-1?
Sometimes, yes, that's best if we can. We have to integrate them into the regular classroom. They're still held, and we're still held to all of the state assessments and those sorts of things. So we still have to put them in the classroom where they get that instruction, and at the same time try to teach them and bring them up to speed of English, which certainly is the challenge. And that also is the challenge when it comes to staffing needs, that we can't always predict when we're going to get these students, how high of a need they are, and also the goal is that we work those kids out of the program. So we work them out, and in theory, if we don't get any more, our numbers would obviously decrease. But we never know when and how much need we're gonna have.
It's a great challenge.
It is.
It's scary for the students.
Yes.
Are the 64 students pretty much first overall K-12 or more in one particular area?
Honestly, in the primary and the elementary school, grades K through 4 is where the highest concentration of the students is. I don't know that the highest need is at those levels. I know from my limited knowledge of learning language that the older you get, the harder it is to grasp a new language or to learn a new language. And so we find that a lot of times the students at those lower grades don't need maybe as intensive of interventions. We're doing a lot of teaching how to read and some of the basics, especially at the primary level. So a lot of times those students are grasping those things at the same time that the students around them are. But I think in the elementary school we have 22 students, 23 in those 2 grade levels. So that's our highest percentage probably anywhere in the district. Any other questions?
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm going to talk briefly, if I can, just 30 more seconds. I promised 5 minutes. I'm probably over. But Dr. Schmeezy also asked me to talk just briefly and give a quick update on our professional development. We just had a professional development day on November 2nd. We were able to offer a variety of learning opportunities, including our annual IEP training for special ed teachers. We did accelerated reader and accelerated math training, guided reading strategies for our K through 2 teachers, implementing literacy skills for science, social studies, and math teachers, and some teacher-based team development. Overall, we got pretty good feedback on the day and the offerings that we had. We continue to use our district leadership team to make a lot of those decisions about professional development and what direction we're headed. It's been a really good group to help guide that professional development because we're made up of an even number of teachers and administrators. And right now we spend a lot of time talking about student growth and how our professional development can encourage and benefit student growth. We're also really exploring teacher-based teams and building leadership teams to help make an impact at the student level. So that's kind of where we're headed there. Our next bowl-in Thursday is March 29th. We're already kind of starting to plan for that, and we'll be offering a lot more variety and shorter learning opportunities for students, and we'll do more of a conference-style format, so to speak, for that day. Any other questions for me?
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Anything from the public? I have the sign-up sheet down there, no one has signed up. So, okay. Moving on, do I have a motion to set the approval of the consent agenda? Second. Mr. Gilmore? Mr. Davis?
Treasurer's report. We approved the minutes of the October 19, 2015 regular meeting and November 11, 2015 special meeting. Approved checks written for October 2015 of $2,938,331.39. Total expenditures for the same month were $2,928,724.67. Approved investments for the period, balance as of November 10, 2015 is $14,408,467.22. Approved the October 2015 SM2 report. Approved now and then for $15,410.52. Through Simplex Grinnell for fire equipment inspection. This was previously under a different vendor. When the vendor changed, we failed to get the requisition out properly, and we need to approve an now and then for that. And then also, number 6 is to recommend the approval to enter into a contract with NOA CSC, which is our A-site provider, to implement Munis accounting software. And that's all I have for you.
Any questions for Mr. Davis? Mr. Disney?
Okay, under personnel, item 1, recommend the approval of Gail Vikey as a substitute for the 2015 school year, 2015-16. Items 2 and 3, recommend the approval of change of contract for Kathy Flegel, teacher at Head Start. She's requesting one deduct day, that's under attachment A. Item 3, Jenny Dews, teacher assistant at the primary school, is requesting 2 deduct days, and that's under attachment B. Item 4, recommend the approval of a probationary, 6-day probationary contract for Joni Minich, secretary at Head Start. And items 5 through 9, recommend the approval to hire Leslie Ann Goodor, teacher assistant at the elementary school, Jennifer Bruggeman, cafeteria worker at the primary school, Diane Davenport, teacher assistant at the high school, Jody Miller, teacher assistant at the elementary school, and lastly, number 9, Angela Enrichment, aide at Head Start.
Any questions for Mr. Weaver? Okay. Dr. Sweeten?
Thank you. We have a couple substitutes to approve, Sarah Boer and Dorothy Brenneman. Item 2, recommend approval of a 2-year contract for Amy Esser as Head Start Executive Director. Amy is here tonight. Amy, if you want to stand so you can see who our new Head Start Director is going to be. Amy's official duties begin December the 7th. Number 3, approve change of contract for Toma Headline, request a quarter day. Approve a change of contract for Andy Mikesell, technology teacher at the high school, request 1 deduct day. Number 5, recommend approval of a change of contract for Shannon Coop, the hearing impaired teacher, 3 deduct days. Recommend approval of a $2,441 stipend for the DLT team members and teachers. Number 7, recommend approval of the following personnel for supplemental contracts for 2015-2016 school year: Jason Tribolette, Angela Brown. Number 8, recommend approval of the following personnel for pupil activity program contracts: Nicole Briggs, head varsity softball, Jeff Kerr, JV girls softball, Jenny Smith, 8th grade girls softball, Don Vanderhorst, 7th grade girls softball, Andrew Bunday, assistant marching band. Number 9, the following volunteers for 2015-16: Matt Briggs, varsity softball, Kerry Kerr, softball, Frank Tangeman, softball, Bill Sell, track, Seth Schmeezing, basketball. Number 10, recommend approval to increase the administrative compensation plan by 3% each year for the 2015-2016 and also the 2016-2017 school year with resumption of the years of experience. This will be retroactive back to August 1st, 2015. Under number 11, recommend approval to increase executive secretary compensation plan by 3% each year, 2015-2016, and also school year 2016-2017, retroactive back to August 1st, 2015. Also to recommend approval to increase cafeteria manager compensation plan by 3% each year for both 2015-2016 and 2016-2017 school years, also retroactive back to August 1st, 2015. I'd like to have you approve also the resolution of the approval of the 2 6th grade Glen Helen overnight trips, first one being April 26th to the 29th, the second being May 3rd through May 6th, 2016. For TriStar, recommend approval to accept a $2,500 donation from West Central Ohio Workforce Development Initiative for the purchase of a robot for the TriStar Career Compact Rec Tech program. Also recommend approval to accept a contribution of $20,000 from the Mercer County Economic Development Office Commission for the purchase of a training robot for the TriStar Career Compact Rec Tech program. The Head Start report was attachment number 4.
Dr. Kim, on the volunteers, they also have to complete the CPR certification and the criminal background check as a activity program or supplemental contract, is that correct?
We certainly have them do complete the background check, yes.
Is there also check?
For the coaches, they definitely have to complete the CPR piece.
Call the roll.
Mrs. Hoy?
Aye.
Mrs. Paulus?
Aye.
Mrs. Piper?
Aye.
Mr. Fetters?
Aye.
Mr. Gilmore?
Aye.
Board policies and guidelines were posted online. First, with the administration, conflict of interest, also in regards to the FMLA leave. In the program, reporting district meetings involving students and or parents. Under professional staff, conflict of interest, new policy, also for standards-based teacher evaluation, policy change for FMLA leave. For classified conflict of interest, also FMLA leave. For students, the sexual violence policy. For property, the use of district premises policy. Under operations, emergency situations in school. Automatic external defibrillators or AED devices. And also policy for food service under operations. Under relations, the district support organizations, new policy.
Any questions so far? This is just the first reading, right? First one, okay. And these are all recommendations from usually.
Correct. Other business by the board administrator, suggest we offer a new contract for McDavis treasurer effective December 1st, 2015 to run until July 31st, 2019. That was part of attachment 5.
Do you need a motion to approve that then?
Correct.
I'll make that motion.
Motion made by Mrs. Piper, do I have a second? Kenny? Mr. Fetters? Call the roll, Mr. Anderson.
Mrs. Piper?
Aye.
Mr. Fetters?
Aye.
Mr. Gilmore?
Aye.
Mrs. Hoy?
Aye.
Mrs. Paulus?
Aye.
Under informational items, you had asked that I complete an open enrollment kindergarten parent survey, so I have those results. Were posted for you. Looks like under the first question, what are the reasons for your open enrollment decision? The top reason certainly was the child care provider lived in the other district, so on their way to work, it was easy for them to drop their child off there and have that district's transportation then transport the child to and from a child care provider. They felt the class size being smaller in the other district, and we're not talking individual classes, we're talking whole class size, such as one I'm going to New Knoxville has less than 30 in their class. So they know everybody in their class as opposed to having 200 or 250 in their class, such as Salina would have. The other top one was that they themselves as parents attended the other school and felt that it was correct for their children to attend the school that they had attended themselves. Question number 2, do you live closer to the school your child attends than you do to the Salina primary school? Of the 17 respondents, 7 said yes, they do, 5 said no, and 5 said they were the same distance. So 12 of the 17 responders either live the same distance or live closer to the district that they were attending. Third question I ask, is there anything that Salina City School District could do to make you change your open enrollment decision? 16 said no, 1 said they did not know. So in other words, they really don't see anything that the Salina City School District was doing wrong. They just had other reasons for having their children attend the other school district. Question number 4, does your child have older siblings attending the school district your kindergartner attends? 8 of them said yes, 9 of them said no, that was their first child attending. Final question, do you receive transportation services from the school district your child attends? 12 of those were yeses, 5 of those were no. So many of them that were the same distance almost lived right on the border between the two districts. So if the bus from the other district was already going by their house, it would make the stop and pick them up. So So it really didn't involve extra mileage on the part of that school district.
Do you recall a breakdown of the schools, how many went to Coldwater and how many went to Northwood? Just
9 Coldwater, 1 Fort Recovery, 3 Marion Local, 1 New Knoxville, 4 to Parkway, 1 St. Henry, 1 St. Mary's, 1 Van Wert, 1 Wawa Canetta.
wow, I'm surprised at the distance.
And I believe we have some line teachers that also take advantage of what a couple of them took advantage of.
Sure.
If they teach in the district, there's no tuition charges for them to bring their own child along with them and attend school in this district.
If we had students close to our, or that where we already had buses, would we pick up students from other districts that wanted, like, to enroll here?
We do provide transportation to some of our students who open enroll. For example, those that go out to Kids Castle, if they're out there and we're already making that stop, then we do transport them in. So yes, we are transporting some of the open enrolled students that come out of that.
Is it common to pick them up if it happens to be going down the road?
Yes. It doesn't add to transportation costs, yes.
When I first read this, I thought about, well, what can we do? Which of these items in number 1 could we change that would change the minds of the parents? And by looking at this, the ones that are 18 out of the 17, it wouldn't matter. So I only see 2. We've heard good things about the other districts, and the other district offers an ag program that is something that I look at being able to change.
Or we felt that the best place, it was the best place for our child.
Right. And so what would we, I don't, it doesn't look to me as though we're going to change a lot of these parents, but what could we do that might change parents' minds of upcoming kindergarten students? What subcommittee or what, look into that could we possibly get?
I'd say it's probably going to be more publicized as we continue the Leader in Me program. And if we continue to grow that program, that word is going to get out. That we are very strong in that area, especially with our younger students. But that could definitely attract more students to want to come to Salina City Schools at the younger age.
I experienced something that I just want to share because I don't know if Mrs. Wayne is here or not. Does the primary school do something similar to Leader in Me? Do you have okay, what's it called there?
We're doing Leader in Me also.
Leader in Me also, okay, I guess I missed that. When I went to the carnival, I went into one of the rooms and they were in there doing their road talk or whatever, and that's what they encouraged me to send my tickets, and I said, I don't have my tickets. And Mrs. Wayne said, well, girls, what do you say, Mrs. Piper? She thought, man, go tell her to buy tickets. The little girl reached in her pocket and gave her ticket to use in there. And of course, she got the clip up over all of that and everything, and I thought, we are doing something so right with those kids, for that little girl to go and give of herself to someone she didn't even know, that it was just really kudos to your mother.
If you have that opportunity to visit some of their town council meetings, you will see and find that we do have students from other buildings coming to present at the various buildings. So the teachers, the staff, the administrators are working together, so we have some of that interaction between the younger and the older students.
And how was it before you were here? One of the most enjoyable board meetings we had was when the students came and gave us a presentation of what they could work on. So we would love to have, I would love to have that at any point in time when any of those kids are, when committee could be their tickets on.
We also discussed bringing back student council to the important meetings, so. Because that was always helpful. Good leadership opportunities, speaking opportunities. Great. The plan. And we're going to start with the kindergarten class. Is there a
largest class
Out.
of open enrollment students?
First grade is next.
Okay, so you're gonna go ahead and go on up.